Simon, very good afternoon to you. Just picking up on thoughts expressed by Kulikani Dlamini from Afina Capital on the likes of Telkom, the stock today underperforming the broader JSE All Share, which closed down just over 1 1/3%. Telkom down 2% at 36 Rand. News out of the company last week that Ruben September is not to renew his contract once it comes to an end. Certainly, Kulikani feels that all the bad news is already priced into the stock. Hlelo Giyosi from Stan Lib made a very strong statement saying that there may be no hope for Telkom at all, given the very poor performance that management has put on the table over the last couple of years. Where do you stand on this one? In other words, would you be buying Telkom at 36 Rand?
Oh, Bronwyn, evening, that's an easy answer. Would I buy Telkom at 36? No. 26, probably still not, and maybe not even 16. And I agree, the bad news is all in the Telkom price. Sure, I can accept that 100%, but I don't see where that good news is coming from. The new CEO is going to be critical, but as a company, Telkom's lost its way. It's gone into its media TV business and then sold it for an undisclosed amount. That they've had years and years of monopoly they've been absolutely unable to capitalize on. They really are a company that looks like it's just lost its way. They've gone from the dominance of the easy years, and they're finding the competition these days just impossible to deal with.
Kulikani put a very interesting name on the table when I pushed him for a potential replacement for Ruben September. He mentioned Angus McRoberts, former CEO of Internet Solutions. What do you feel about that option?
Look, it's not a name I'd heard before. I think it's an inspired idea in the sense that that's what Telkom needs to become. We view Telkom as a telephone company, but copper in the ground in that form of telephone is absolutely over. These companies now are data. Whether that data is internet and information or whether it be voice, it's all just data. It doesn't need to be copper in the ground. It can be fiber, it can be wireless transmission. And so therefore, if someone from Internet Solutions exactly comes with that mindset that says, we are a data provider, that's what we do, how do we get that data out, whatever it is. Another component of that data is television and the like. So I think someone like that could really give Telkom a better chance. But they're going to come into a company which I think they're going to find exceedingly challenging. It's not impossible to turn it around, but it's not going to be an easy ask.
Simon, MTN today down 1.5%, pretty much in line with the broader market, but we've got the stock closing today at 100 Rand. And the debate raging at the moment is whether MTN should be focusing on its existing business, cutting costs and giving more money back to shareholders, or chasing that acquisition strategy. And Kulikani surmised it perfectly, saying that you've got to decide whether MTN can make you more money as a shareholder by deploying that capital than you can by getting it back. I don't know what your thoughts are on that statement.
I agree with it. I mean, to me, MTN is a growth stock. You buy MTN for growth, and ergo, they're going to go into territories and grow their businesses there, and they're also going to be acquisitive, and they're going to go and buy other companies to make that growth. So they do the organic and they do the acquiring side. I think that's why you're buying MTN. You're not buying MTN for huge flows of cash back. That will come in time. 5-10 years down the line, when everyone owns a cell phone or two, then they can start generating cash back to shareholders. Right now, I think as a shareholder, I want them to be out there spending and buying.
ArcelorMittal continues to come under pressure. The stock is down 2.75% today. We're at 74 Rand 75. Any further news flow on also ArcelorMittal around Kumba?
Short answer, no, except that there's lawyers and all sorts of things happening there. But it was just, as you said, no news flow. But a couple of my colleagues and I were chatting about it earlier. And this is a stock that was at 130 odd. Then they had this suspended in trading, so 120 odd. Suspended the trading, reopened at 90, and just continues to go down, down, and down. On the red days, they're redder than everyone else. On the green days, they flat or slightly green. And it's that lack of certainty, and it's just how that lack of certainty, or uncertainty rather, can really hurt a business. Investors are saying, hang on, I don't know what I'm buying here. And frankly, until we get some certainty, whichever way it goes, I think we're going to see more downside in that stock.
Next, telematics is in the vehicle tracking arena. That company came out with full year results today. Not a very great set of results, if we can use that terminology. The company's been impacted by the stronger rand. It does have a presence in 111 countries around the globe, and it is looking for a better time ahead, given the fact that we're starting to see traction in vehicle sales across the globe, and that obviously will filter through to its underlying business.
Absolutely, Bronwyn. In manufacturing, obviously things have to be moved around. A lot of it goes by truck, etc. I think the future looks good for them. What I got to say, what I liked most about that set of results was the CEO statement on page 1, where he talks to investors, and he really does talk to investors. It makes me think of Warren Buffett. He's open, he's honest, he's frank. He shows you the number, which is the sort of the headline number which everyone likes. He says, but actually that's not the one I use. I prefer this number, and it's an uglier looking one. I just got the sense that here's someone who really understands that he runs a company that is owned by shareholders, and he is there at the behest of shareholders. And I think every CEO out there, locally and internationally, could do well just to go read that front page and see what it is to be a CEO of a listed company.
Just your thoughts on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We saw a big sell-off on the market on Friday. We don't need to spend any more time on that. We're 3% lower, but we have again turned negative on the Dow, and we're still below that 10,000 point level. What are you expecting from the American markets this week?
Short answer, I think more downside. 10,000 was an important psychological level. Having been breached, I think a lot of people are like, oh no, throwing in the towel, getting out. I think we're going to see more selling. These levels might not mean much in practice, but it's a psychological aspect from it. And 10,000 was important, has been important, was holding, broken convincingly, and as you said, red again today. And I think we might see some bouncing, but I think for the next week, maybe 2 weeks, certainly we've got a chance of more downside.